Hey everybody, Scroft here, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our Bevington farm series. It's now February, and if you've been following along you'll know that I've done a bit of a jump in the in time basically. I can't even remember what the last episode was and what month we were in. Well, I know I've done quite a lot since then, and you can tell that I am digging up. I'm digging up the old muck heap that was here. And with the mod that we've got now, Terrafarm, I was going to say Terralife then, Terrafarm, we can do this properly. It's a bit of a tricky one. I will have to flatten it out in the end. But we're going to move all the muck out, basically. That's the aim. And with the way the mod works, you can actually set a material to be as the output. So I leased out the JCB, and I've been digging just to try and get it a little bit more level to the ground. It's not level, it's bumpy as hell, and I will need to sort that out. I will, but I'll just use like probably the flattening tool or something along them lines to do it. And right at the bottom as well, just down there, you can probably see it in the distance, just above the bucket, there's a pile of manure that is going to be like my new spot for the meantime. It's just a short-term solution. Now the reason I want to move this all out, get rid of that muck heap, is one, the way I started the series off is that muck heap there was basically an old muck heap. So when the farm was purchased by ourselves, there used to be a muck heap there, and then over time it's just got consumed by the land. Nettles and grass and everything has grown on it. This is why I'm using this mod, and now that I've got the Terralife mod, like I said, I can do the material, so I actually can get manure technically out of that, and that's what we're doing. So we're going to add it to one new muck pile, and then this area here is going to get flattened out. We're going to put concrete down, and we're going to either use it to build something pretty cool, which I've got all planned out, and it's going to be a big update to Bevington Farm, so you're just going to bear with me with that one. It will happen in time. I'm going to also at the same time add all the fields in properly, so it will be a new save one. Definitely will be a new save for that update, but I'm going to make it worth it, because if you're going to start a new save on something, it's got to be worth it. That's the way I see it. So if I add in a few new things, which I'm planning on doing with the help of Nathan, so if you're following Nathan in my Discord and also seen on the channel before talking about like the new build at Calmsden that he did and shared, he's making some good stuff at the moment. He's going to let me use some of it and put it in. So this whole area here should have an upgrade, basically, like some new sheds, new bits and bobs going in, and add to the farm layout. So I need to kind of get that sorted, and then yeah, we can go from there. That's the plan. And I also just found it pretty cool just trying out the Terrafarm mod, which I'll just show you very quickly, but it's one of them things that takes quite some time. So I've got a lot of other things I want to do in this episode, so we're not going to focus all our time on that, but we can definitely go through it. I think I have to. First off, the controls are very strange, I'll be honest, for someone that's not used to this. It takes a bit of time to get used to. So we need to go to the bucket on Ross and Mod's JCB Hydra Dig, which is a super cool mod. I think I have to press. So Y is how you bring up the menu, and from this is what I've done. You see the material type. So I've got as like my output material basically manure, and then I've also got a discharge texture. So the texture that it actually turns to underneath the ground is the animal mud, and that's the way I've done it. But if I press, I think it's O, yeah it is. So all the basically, if you look now, it's all greyed out. They're kind of like chevrons at the side. It's greyed out. It goes to green, and you know everything's working. You can see the arrows as well. So now, because I've got it set on lower and discharge a material, the material's manure, and you know what happens to the ground and everything, that's means we can basically just get the ball rolling on this. So I'm gonna just try and dig a little bit, but please bear with me on this one, right? I'm better off with front loaders and anything really. I'm just not a pro when it comes to using these kind of tools. So there'll be people out there that will cringe at this, I'm sure of it. But basically, as you can probably tell, we are just digging down into the ground, flattening out. It takes a bit of time, does take a bit of time, but you can get there eventually. But then obviously you have a load of manure that I've got to try and dig up now, which is where I'm at. So yeah, if we bring her in, which one's the control bringing in? That's it. Probably not going to do any more there, are we? So what I will do is let's just kind of dump that out. See, I have got a bit of practice to it, and I'm not horrendous or anything like that. It's just I definitely need a bit more practice. So what I could do now is just, you know, come pick that up with the load all, or a front loader as I'm using the John Deere. It's just very bumpy, so getting in and out of this spot is not easy at all. I mean, the Hydro Dig's got good turning, just not got amazing clearance, because obviously it's got the bits and bobs at the front, which are there by design, because, you know, they can kind of stabilise it. But for me, who just wants to kind of jump in, do a bit, and try and get it all sorted, but get the manure from it, I just like, that's been something I've done personally, just to pass the time and enjoy the game. It's been good, honestly, it has. But it's just a bit of a nightmare, because of the fact that it's very bumpy. You can see it's not designed for... Yeah, it's not designed the way I've done it, like for someone that can't keep it level. I think it takes some skill, it does, and the people that can use it properly, then it's commendable. It looks it looks really good when they do it. But, you know, we're doing all right. There's a lot there, and I'm probably going to lose quite a lot as well, because when I do flatten it out, you know, I've already gone too low in spots. It's too high in spots. I don't even know if that's... You know, I don't even know I don't even know what needs leveling out, like what's ground and what's a pile of manure, to be honest, at this point. I haven't got a clue. So I just keep going in and taking as much as I can grab with the bucket. I mean, you can see that there's manure everywhere, because it's the texture that we can see on the ground, mainly. But there's plenty to do and sort out. So, yeah, just take a bit of time, and I'll just keep chipping away at it. But yeah, we'll make this the last bucket load, and then we'll dump this in here. Got plenty of other things I need to do and talk about as well. So there we go. I don't think I'm going to need the bucket, but I am going to need the front loader, and we're also going to drive this up to the store. No, we don't want to do. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do that. Yeah, we're gonna drive up to the store with the trailer on the back. We're gonna sell our trailer now. We're gonna swap it out for a smaller one, and we're gonna still have the option to use auto load, but we're gonna use the universal auto load mod and kind of make our own box setup to do the auto load. So I'm just gonna drop that off there. I'm gonna lift up my front loader. I might need the rear weight to basically, I want to buy a few big bags, so I'm going to need the rear weight when doing that to lift them onto the trailer. But if we just get this set up ready to go, then we can worry about what's next after that. The trailer's on the other side there, so let's just quickly go drive around to that. If you notice as well, an AdBlue mod came out today, which is Wednesday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, and I've got it currently. It's really cool though, because there's 2 new engine warning lights as well. So you'll get an engine warning light when the AdBlue is low, but you'll also get a warning light when the maintenance goes down, which I really like. I just think little things like that, man, they do make a big difference. So there we go. That's pretty much ready to go down to the store. Do need to buy some AdBlue as well. Probably going to buy just one big IBC of it and just plonk that down somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, as long as we buy some. But I've got a list of stuff. I've been so busy because I've been actually just playing it, you know, chilling out, playing it. I was doing the farmhand a lot at the weekend. I had a day off on Monday with Beanie. So yeah, I made a list of stuff that I've come across, been up to, you know, and so on. But I know in the last episode we were talking about this section. I was having a nightmare with bales, and a lot of people put in the comment section they were also having the same issue with stacking bales. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. They just move, basically. If you go anywhere near them, they've got a mind of their own. They're just crazy, and it's almost so unstable that it's put me off doing manual loading, or manual unloading and then stacking. I don't mind manually loading onto trailers and unloading off trailers and stuff like that. And I think big bags are obviously fine and things like that, but it's just bales that I've found to be an issue. So because of that, I've had to use these. Now, these were set up like they're a mod on Mod Hub, basically. These pallets that are just spawning points to store bales. And they weren't set up properly, but you've probably already noticed that I'm now stacked 4 high. Everything works fine. The triggers I've done perfectly. They still spawn out in the same spot. They kind of do go into that. I should probably move the trigger forward a little bit so it doesn't go into the post. But because these posts are with the collisions on, it doesn't really matter at all anyway. But the trigger to load in now is such a thin little box. If I just bring up the F5, you'll probably just see it there. Can you see that like little box now in front of me? That is the trigger, and that's all we need. It's just like a tiny little wall. And as soon as the bale goes into that wall, bang, it spawns in. I've got it same on both sides. So if I drive through here, nothing's going to happen. No bale's going to interfere. It's not going to spawn in or anything. And it's made it really good. So I get a lot of use out of this now. So all I have to do is just bring it in with maybe the telly truck that I've got, drive in here, and then a few straw bales will go in there. Same over here. Anywhere at the front, just drive in with the bales and they spawn in. So I can still unload off a trailer, for example, bring it into from the field, and then I can store it into there, which I thought was super cool. So I fixed that problem. That's one thing sorted out. Talking about the cows as well, I've been keeping a close eye on the cows. I also released an update to Bevington Farm, and I was talking about the gate. And sorted out a new segment for this gate now. So it's like we've got a 4th option. So when you go into the placeables and you pick hedge, you can now pick like hedge, single gate, double gate, wooden gate. But now there's another single gate, and it basically has an angle of 90 degrees. So for this spot, for example, it's perfect for. So we can actually, shut the gate and open it without it going through the wall. But the cows, let's have a quick look at the cows. Wrong one. There we go. Let's go to this. So looking at the cows, I have been moving them all over. You can probably notice already that a lot of the cows now are over the 12-month mark, hence why they're all in like one area. We've got beef indoor, we've got the beef young stock indoor, and then we've got our dairy stock indoor and our young dairy stock indoor. So anything under 12 months old is in the section that's like classified as young, and then anything over 12 months is in here with one bull. That's the way I'm doing it. I have got... If I go to my young beef indoor, the way I've named it, which you probably already know from following it, is if there are really good genetics to the breed, I'm starring it up so I know. So this is Beef Bull 1. He's at 10 months old. As soon as he gets to 12 months old, I'm going to swap out the Beef Bull in here, which is 15 months old. He's going to go out to a pasture, probably going to fatten him up and then sell him at some point. As soon as he gets to like a really... I mean, they're all at decent weights. They're all overweight technically, but she's not having a negative effect yet. I think it's because they're just so well looked after. I mean, the health has jumped down to 0% again, which is strange. That keeps happening, but I think it's because I'm updating the mod. We've literally had a realistic livestock mod update today. So I've updated the mod and it's come in, and now all my health's gone back down to 0. So it will go up. It will eventually go up over time. Like if I skip an hour, it'll just keep going up bit by bit. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that my animals will die, so I probably should do something about that because I don't want to lose animals because it's jumped back down to 0. So if we just put animal removal on, off. We'll turn that off just for the meantime and see what happens. But yeah, they've all shot down to 0, but you can see there's no need. They've got TMR. If we go to my beef stock indoor, TMR as well. But they're all doing really well apart from that random thing, which is going to get sorted out in time. Just give it time, it'll go back up. But yeah, they're all like in calf as well. Majority of them, unless I've just moved them over. I've got a couple to move over, and we'll do that in a second. But you can see that I've got this one. This one's in calf. It's got 1. That's also got 1. That one's actually got 3. 1, and this one that's starred up's got 1 as well. So that's got some really good genetics. We've got a double here, so we've got a twin there. So they're pretty much all in calf. And if we go to our milkers indoor, we've got this one that's got 3. A single. That's the bull, which has got the best genetics, hence why my other bull's out in the field. My original bull that I put in. This one's getting calf. Yeah, we've got 3 here. We've got 2 here that have got triplets, and that one as well. This one's going to be really good to look out for, which is female 12, because she's got a star, so she's got really good genetics, but so's my bull. So that 2 kind of mix that. So that mix there for these triplets should be interesting. We should hopefully get some really good genetics on them triplets. And then if we look at our young stock, we've got one that's 12 months that needs to come over. We're going to do that in a second. Got another one at 12 months as well. And then the rest are 2 young So they're just staying in there. Same with the indoor bulls. Got a 10-month, which is that 11-month. So they're all fine. And then this is my original bull, milking bull. That's just, I'm going to sell it at some point. It's, you know, it's nice to have a backup bull, but I don't want to keep them together. I'd rather separate them because I think, you know, that's the realistic thing to do. You don't want to mix your bulls. It's never a good idea. Not unless they've been castrated or the young stock, which is not something we've done. So looking through the reproduction kind of percentage, the progress so far, 24. So we're about a quarter way through at most, 30% there. So you can see that we're doing well. We're still off, quite a way off having any calves on the farm. But when we do get calves, there's going to be a big influx. And we're going to need the feed for that because I'm already running on probably the maximum, really, because I've got the feed set at 500%. Currently, it works fine. I'm really enjoying the gameplay with this mod because I'm feeding a lot. I'm using my feed up. I'm mucking out. It's just, at the moment, it's kind of like where I want the game to be. And a big respect for Arrow for doing that. Yeah, he's pretty much changed the game for me. So, amazing, really. Amazing. It's exactly what I was after for a long time. Because there's just so many things to micromanage now. And there's just so many things to manage now. There's so many more in-depth things to focus on and plan ahead. You know, it's not just, oh, let's come on and have a bit of a chilled experience and play the game. I now feel like I'm really thinking about it, and it's more an in-depth challenge for me, and I prefer it that way. So yeah, again, so looking at these just quickly, 25%. So just giving you an update really on the progress of the reproduction. We're going to get a load though, and we're going to have to figure that out. We've got the 2 sheds, but I don't want to overcrowd them, and we need to make sure we got the feed. But we should get lactating soon when they obviously start calving, and that's going to be a good thing. So looking at feed, this is how much they consume a day currently. That's 8,000 litres a day. That's a lot. And if you add up everything else, mainly just that one outside, that bull, I mean, it's got enough grazing grass in there that I never actually need to even think about this. It's got 40,000 and already 8,000 litres of TMR. So that's like a place for me to put cows and stuff if it's just, you know, if it's just... Basically, if it's either getting fattened up, sold, it's no longer going to be part of my herd. It's just it's done a job, and now it's time for it to move on. Kind of basically, that's the way I'm seeing it. But yeah, look at the beef stock. Beef stock, insane against my milkers that are indoor. They're just a double. It's crazy. But I'm pretty certain that is water, and this one's the amount of straw they consume. And then, yeah, you've got your manure and your liquid manure each day. So let's actually have a look at that because I haven't seen that. So yeah, manure's already at 7,000. So I'm going to have to muck out again soon. Yeah, we technically could muck out soon, but we don't have to do it yet. There's still plenty of room. But we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's the cows. Got a couple that we're going to move over right now. I've got the herdsman. Yeah, the herdsman stick somewhere. Do you know the thing about this herdsman stick? I lose it all the time. Like, it's just crazy how often I lose this. I place it down somewhere thinking, tell you what, that'll be a really good spot. I'll remember where that is. And then every time I need it, I go, don't know where it is. I forgot where it is. So I have to walk around. So before I started recording, I actually go and find the herdman stick again. I love it, but I do wish it was like this. You know, like it was in the menu. So you've got like your torches, your chainsaw, and your kind of hand tools. It just saved my stupidity of always forgetting where it is. I don't know. So that's so we've got 2 in here that need to come out. These are the dairy stock. So let's move them 2 animals to the herdman stick. And then if we go back, it's probably going to open the door. It normally does. No, we're good. We're good. So the milkers are here. The beef stock around the corner. And then we can move these in. So now these 2 will get into calf from our breeding bull in here. And if we just move this, put it in the corner there, that should be all right. I probably won't remember where it is, but well, be all right. And now the milkers indoor should go up to 9. Or did we already have 9? I can't remember. But we definitely got 2 that need to get into calf. So this one here, which is the 12-month one, that's going to get into calf hopefully soon. And then we've got this one that's 12 months as well, and they're going to get into calves. So you can see they're just young stock, but they will get there eventually. So that's pretty much the animals done. Let's go and talk about... Let's go and have a look at this, because this is something super cool that I've got my hands on now, which is Mark IV did an original version of this on 22, and then one of my admins in my server, Dwarrior Dog, asked Mark IV if he can convert it to 25, and he went about doing that and let me have a copy of it, and I made a couple of changes just to the way it looks. I made it look a bit more steel and kind of just bog standard, nothing special, no special colours or anything. And now we got this. It actually holds more than my old one did, so not bad at all. So we're going to go and get some sheep in this episode. I've actually got the list of things I want to do today. Is I want to sell a couple of stuff. I want to go get some sheep. We're going to go up to the store with a trailer, sort that out, get some stuff, bring it back. We're going to do some lime spreading and talk about lime, because that's interesting now, precision farming. It was interesting before, but originally I said it was kind of like not working. But it is working. It's just by the new design of it. Let's just call it that. So you can see it's not very pretty. There is a way of sorting this out so it doesn't happen. But this is the realistic way, technically. Depends how you want to play. So we're going to have a chat about that in a second. And then we can, decide together. Hopefully, you can let me know in the comment section anyway, which way to play. I kind of want to try it out the realistic way and just see if I can get better at it. If it doesn't work and it's just too not gameplay friendly, as in like as much as you want to play realistic, sometimes things need to be adapted the right way for it to actually work in gameplay wise. If it doesn't, then I'll just go and do what most people are doing, which is changing the settings so it doesn't happen anymore. But we'll give it a go and we'll see if we can improve on it. Right, so let's start talking about money, because money is an important thing. You've probably noticed I've got none of it. I'm struggling. I'm at 4,600. There's good things that have gone on. There's more spending that's gone on. I mean, come on, it's me. At least I didn't get a loan this time, though. In fact, I paid off loans. So let's start with the finance of the loans. You can see that I had 2 before. If I actually toggle my paid off loans, I'm pretty proud of what I've done here. My original one was the one I started with 285. I paid that off straight away and retook out a new loan. So we went from 285 to 350. That one we currently still got. I paid off 100,000 when I paid off the 75,000 and the 33,000 pound loan that I had, all for equipment. So really, all the equipment we've got right now, I own, which is a nice thing to know that we finally own all this stuff. So I went and sold all the grain. I sold all the wheat that we had. I sold all the canola, I think it was. Actually, I forgot now. I'm pretty certain it was. We had 1 field of canola and the rest were all wheat fields. So I sold all that grain going through to the winter months, like December time. I think one was in the start of January, and then paid off my loans. And that's pretty much left me with the money that I've got now. But I also bought a new tractor. So I had a little bit extra, and I bought a new tractor. And I went for the excellent, and I mean excellent, F140 by EDO. This tractor is astonishing. It almost kind of like just sets the standard now for what tractors could potentially be in FS. It has so many custom textures. The way, it's insane. It's a stunning piece of kit, and I love it. The sound effects, the way it looks, the weathered, the aged, the age look to it is insane. So we've gone for this 140, and it's just, honestly, it's brilliant. And all these tractors, in fact, have been stunning. All these Fiat Agri mods. But like I said, we can change this up. We can have the look we've got now, which is like the old school look to it. It looks like it's been used. Or we can have more modern look. You can even have like a Red Bull paint job on it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So this is going to be my yard tractor for mucking out. To haul in this 108. This is what's going to do it. The small tractor I had before. Not sure if I showed that off. I should have done. I think I did, because I was doing the mucking out. But we basically went with a small 5S Massey and decided against that eventually. So I only had that for like a couple of hours, if it felt like, anyway. I don't even know how long it was, but you only had that a short period of time. I don't even know if I showed it in a video, but if I didn't, I basically bought a 5S, sold it for the F140, and that's where we're staying at. So this is going to do things like scraping, maybe out in the field doing a bit of tedding, mucking out. It's going to haul this trailer around, just small jobs around the farm, on the yard, that is the farm beast. That is what we're going to call it. It's the farm beast. It just does the jobs we need around here. And the New Holland T6 and the New Holland T7, that's going to be our main focus tractor, going out and doing some work in the fields. Which leaves me with this, the 7S. It's a bit of a difficult one, but I've come to a decision on this. If I actually go to my tractors, you can see that this is 140, hence the F140 name. Then we've got two medium tractors. We've got the T7 that's 224, but can go up. I think it can actually go up to 300. So we've got some good range on that. And then we've got the 7S, which can go up a little bit more, but currently it's at 155. So I think this is just too close to the 140 that I'm going to sell it because I really need the money. So what we're going to do is we're going to go repair this, sell it, use that money to buy a few things that I need, like buying some lime, buying some fertilizer, buying that AdBlue, for example, and also give me a nice bit of cash cushion to feel a bit better than what I'm currently at, which is 4,600, because I've got that big loan to repay each month with a bit of interest. So it's needed basically. We need to get a bit of cash, and I'm having 3 tractors here. I don't need this tractor. It's close enough to that F140. If I had to choose one right now, I just love the way the F140 looks and feels whilst playing with it, that I've got to keep that. So we're going to sell the 7S. Before we sell the 7S, we've got one last job for it. We're going to hitch up to this. I'm going to go buy some sheep. I want to get the ball rolling with sheep. I don't want to buy many. I just want to take some out to the pasture. I've got some wool up there already that I need to bring back at some point. I just haven't got round to doing that. But yeah, I want to buy some sheep. This is so much easier to drive around with this animal trailer. It's just much, yeah, the size is just more suited. But yeah, we're going to go to the animal dealer. We're going to buy some sheep. We're going to probably try and get like maybe 1 ram and about 5 hopeful good genetic breed of sheep and let them breed out. We're going to keep the lambs and grow out. I'm not trying to make money from lamb, selling lambs yet. I'm trying to breed out and get a lot of sheep because they will just graze. So we don't have to worry about feeding them or anything. We can just leave them be. But the aim is to have them breeding out and then just keep growing that flock of sheep, and then yeah, we go from there. I mean, at some point we can then sell the lambs, but we'll get money from we'll mainly get money from the wool, won't we? So it's going to be worth it for that reason. So let's have a look what the animal dealer's actually got for us. So we want to look at sheep and goats, and we want to get anything that's good. So them two straight away, not very good. So far, we've got just bad. This is not looking good so far. How can every single one be that bad? That is insanity. Every single one is bad. That is insane. I don't think... That can't be right, can it? That can't be right. Surely. And I think there's a way of resetting it. Yeah, look. Change colour tag. Oh, that's new. That is new. To be honest, I like the way they look. I'm happy to keep them yellow. But no, what are we doing here? Faffing about now, getting distracted. That's all the same. Normally it kind of resets, so at least it hasn't. That's the precision farming new settings that we'll go into in a second. But let's reset the animal dealer. I think it's done it. I'm not sure. Let's see. Right, it's definitely reset. We've got a couple now that are good. If we go through the first breed, there's none in there that are female, but we did see one good ram. So it could be an option to get this ram that's from Finland. So Finland are making better sheep than the UK right now. There's one in Sweden there that's horrendous, though. But Norway, look at this. Norway have got a good one, so we'll get that one. I think we're going to have to go with that ram, aren't we? So we're Finland ram, a Norway female. And then, can we get any brown ones that look good? Doesn't look like it. I mean, that's a really good ram. That has to be the ram we go for, surely, with them kind of genetics. But that means that we found 2. So, yes, we have 2. We have a male and a female. I mean, it does the job. It's just... It does the job. That's all I'm going to say, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to have to reset that. That is cruel. Right, so after about 4 more resets, we've got 3 decent-ish, I'm just going to say that, the decent-ish females, or, yeah, ewes, and we've got 1 ram that's ready to rock and roll. What did make me laugh, though, is not one of them was from the UK. We've got a Sweden... We've got a Swedish one, we've got a Norway one, we've got a French one, should I say, France one, a French one, and we've got Spartan, who I can't remember where he's from, but he wasn't from the UK. So yeah, it's UK sheep, obviously, they're all bad. They're all bad. To be honest, I do spend 2 days of the week now getting kicked by sheep, but yeah, and they were also imported from Germany, so yeah, because they're a milking breed of sheep, but yeah, there's some really good sheep out there in the UK. I think we need to try and get that sorted out. I think we'll need to say to Arrow, come on, at least 1 out of 15. 1 out of 15 from the UK is a good sheep. Anyway, we've got enough. I'm happy with that. That's 4. I bought them. We're going to go take him out to the field now, and we'll get this tractor repaired and then sold, and we can drive down to the store then. With the trailer, we're going to go sell that as well and try and get a replacement one that's a little bit smaller, easier to kind of maneuver around the farm. But I am going to use the universal autoload mod, which I haven't been using recently because I don't know if anyone else has had this, but since not this update, not 1.9, I think it was 1.8, the mod always said it was just outdated, and it didn't even let me have an option to either update it or even activate it. It was just one of them mods that's completely blacked out in the mod list, and I couldn't use it. So I've been using the Git, like the latest GitHub version, but it's still happening. So I just changed the name. I basically put Scroft in the name instead of the standard name, and now it works. So it's a weird one, that is. I don't know why that one mod. In fact, I think it's another mod as well. Just says outdated, but I don't like that by Giants. I think Giants are overreaching really what they should be allowed to do there with mods. You know, they shouldn't force you to not be able to activate a mod in your mods list, unless you rename it. It's just weird. It's a strange one. I like the search option. I like that. I think that's a game changer, and I like what they're doing there. But yeah, I think they've gone too far with that, in my opinion. Right, so let's just drop these 4 sheep off. Hopefully they'll be happy in this spot. I mean, they've got plenty of feed, and plenty of space to move around. Can't really complain at all, can they? So we've got 4 sheep in. Let's just lift that up and move it forward a bit, and we will have a look. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of time for them to... let's go into this section, actually. We can put some tags on them. So if we go to this one and go by feed consumption, we've got our sheep pasture here. If we apply all monitors, 500 litres a day, not bad at all. And then if we go to this one and go to our sheep pasture, we can see that, yeah, 3 and our ram. So they should be happy. Fingers crossed anyway. Yeah, we just need them to do the job, really. Get the lamb, get them with some lambs and reproducing out, and get the ram doing its thing. So we'll just leave them. I probably won't see them now for a couple of months. Just like most sheep. But we can shut this gate and just leave them to roam around. And to be honest, sheep always do find a way to break free. So if they're anything like the sheep I know, within a couple of days they'll be roaming around somewhere they shouldn't be. Right, let's park the animal trailer away, get this sold, and we'll go and get the ball rolling with getting some fertiliser and also, yeah, sorting out the trailer. I actually want to place in as well, I'm thinking about this now, I want to place in a silo like that, but for lime. Because big bags and lime is a nightmare. I don't mind big bags in fertiliser or seed or anything like that. But with the amount that we actually need to do, I think it's a bit crazy. It is. Right, we're going to have to sell that here, unfortunately. We're going to have to sell it in this menu. But we get a good amount still. 89,000. I know we could repaint it and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter too much. I'm still quite happy with that kind of cash. And there we go. So we're now up to 92,000. How about we sort out the lime then first? Because we're going to use that first. So let's place down a silo for lime. I mean, that might be a good spot just over here. It's kind of out the way. Shouldn't interfere too much. So let's go with silos. I think it should be. Is it silos or containers? I mean, I don't know if you buy that on the fly. Some of them you buy it as you're actually filling up. Others you need to kind of like fill up and so on. I mean, that holds 54,000. This is a lime station, so I imagine that's, yeah, kind of like buy on the fly. Or it might not be. It might be, yeah, like a fillable lime tank, like it says. I think if we got the trigger, like at the side there, there's like a trigger to mess about with. And that probably means we can add in. See, that one is on the fly. Definitely, because there's no second trigger. So that might be a good option because I never have to worry about filling it up. But I don't mind filling it up at all, really. And if I could change the colour of this, because I've already got a green one, I can customise it, can't I? Yes. So what we could do is just probably put it like a different colour. I mean, that's a bit ugly. Where are we going now? Why is it flying off? I'll probably go about... Yeah, let's go there. What's it doing? Why is it stuck? There we go. It's a weird one, isn't it? There's not... I mean, I don't mind that. But at the same time, it's not the prettiest thing to look at, is it, in the world? But I think we're going to have to do it. I think this is going to have to be for lime. I'm just hoping it's not going to do too much terraforming and messing about. Right, there we go. Fix that problem. That was much cheaper as well. So sold the old one. This was only 2,500. It doesn't look as good. I'll admit that it doesn't suit this farm as well, but it's cheaper. I also got it, you know, placed pretty good. I also placed down some tire tracks that look really cool because I kind of got it so it like naturally looks like an area that flows quite a lot of traffic on the farm up and down past this gap. And you can see as well I've put some tracks going around the side where you'd pull up to this point and also through this section because it's like a bottleneck area that you can either go left or right, so you can see the tyre tracks of that. It really does add to it putting them kind of things in. But there we go, we got that in. So now I think there should be a trigger somewhere. Or is it one that we just spawn under? Let me just check that out quickly. So to do that, we're going to need to get in here. And massive pain this is. Almost makes me think, should we just buy a fert spreader? I think at some point we have to, so we don't have to keep going through all this faffing about. But if we go to the bucket and then go underneath it, it should give us the trigger. There we go. And if we can do this, we can figure out the price. So 809 for 2,000 litres. So like 404.5. Yeah, basically. So £404 and £50 for 1,000 litres of lime. That's expensive. I'm pretty certain that's expensive. More expensive anyway than what we could be getting that for. If we just go down to consumables, lime 450 for 2,000. So we're paying double the amount, aren't we? Really? How depressing is that? Oh, I don't know. I can't be spending double the amount on lime. That's just insane. Who decided that's how much lime was with that? I'm going to have to change that. I'm going to have to change the pricing of that. I get that we need a delivery fee, and I'm fine with that, but you can't put it to double. Like, that's just criminal. It's criminal. So I'm going to sort that out. I'm going to make that so it's... I'm going to make it probably so if it's $4.50 for 2,000 and we're buying it, I'll make it £25 more a bag. So probably like $4.75. Yeah, $4.75 for 2,000 litres. And I think £25 to deliver one bag as delivery fee is bloody good, so you can't complain at that. But to go from $4.50 to $800, well, that's just scandalous, isn't it? That's you can get arrested for that. Okay, so got the trailer sorted. This is the Red Rock by Fast Farming. I mean, I haven't used this for a while because so all these new features, I don't know if I need to do that, but we'll save it anyway. And then we're going to buy it outright for 17,000. We sold the other one for around 15, 16 anyway, so there's not much difference there. So I'm happy with that. Right, I finally got there. Finally. I think the best... Yeah, I think the less we say on the troubles I just had with certain mods, the better. But my advice is stick to a pallet fork, everybody, when you want to lift big bags. Because the mods that are dropping currently on ModHub, where you've got like the double big bag or quadruple or triple, I mean, they look really good and they sound really good. But in theory, they aren't very good. Like, they haven't been for me anyway. My issue was you've got the like auto attach section, so you can there's no collision on the end to like manually lift it up. You have to attach to it. But if you attach to you attach to one, but you've lined up for like 4, for example, so then you have to attach all 4, but you can't detach individually, is what I was noticing. So every time I dropped 4 on the back of the trailer, it just dropped 1, and then instead of me like scrolling to the next one to drop, it would try and the only input I get is to pick the one up that I've already dropped, but I want to drop all 4. So it kind of just doesn't work very well. So yeah, we're just going to stick to pallet forks when using big bags and stuff. I prefer that kind of side anyway to, you know, manually loading. And look at the mess it's made by using that, what I purchased and then sold straight away. Because, yeah, it just put a collision on. Keep it simple. Let me unload and load on. Jobs are good and happy days then. So yeah, I've had my little rant there and I feel much better for it. Got plenty to do. I've faffed about in this episode. It's gone on for an hour and a half. This is probably going to be one of the longest episodes I've done in a while. But I had loads to do, loads to talk about. And yeah, I still want to get some lime spread, so we're going to have to do it. But I've got little bits and bobs just messing about, faffing about, like the fact that I can't load up the muck spreader directly from that trigger, which is really strange. Which is not ideal. I understand why, because it's a muck spreader. Which is it's still weird though, because you can fill up from the muck triggers for it, so there must be like the right things in G for it to activate. Maybe it's not set up that way in the XML for the Teagle, because it is actually designed for muck. It's not really designed for lime. But it would be better if I could just drive under it. I purchased it to kind of make my life easy, so I didn't have to manually handle anything. But I've got to pretty much put a bucket under it every time and then scoop into it. I'm pretty certain we'll get you know, a fert spreader, a lime spreader at some point, and yeah, that won't be an issue. Then we can actually use that storage point we've got for lime right now and make better use of it. But I am just going to drop this trailer off. I'm glad I've got it. I mean, I could have used the auto-load feature on the trailer, really. Like, if I just undid this, I'll show you. If we just bring up the F1 menu. unloading left side, container type all. And if we just go Shift I, and then if we go Shift I again, I think, because it's might be because that's add blue. But if we go Shift R, that's pretty much what we should have done at the start. And I wouldn't have been faffing about for that long. That's probably what should have happened. I don't know. Right. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do that one. And then we're going to also drop off this. And then just get some muck spraying done. So even though I wanted to do more than that in this episode, with everything else I've done, I'm not too fussed. I think this one field here is not too bad. I've got to do all this field in 28, got to do this grass field here. These are mainly my two biggest grass fields. I know you could combine this, this, and this, and this, so there's 4 small ones there. But really what I want to be doing is doing 2 cuts each year. I want to do silage on all these grass fields, so let's just say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grass fields. This is obviously a pasture, that's a pasture, and we've also got this pasture here, which is for the sheep. So yeah, we've got 6 grass fields. We're going to do 2 cuts, 1 for silage, 1 for hay. Hay's probably going to always be second cut just because it's the better time of year, and we have to really focus on the weather for that to get the dryness happening. Hence why in the most recent update I did for the map, I actually changed the price of hay. So hay is now what you'd expect silage prices to be, and silage has gone down to what, well, it's actually not as bad as what hay was before, but it's around the same price. So it's a little bit more, just a tiny bit more than hay was before, but it's better. And straw's also gone up, so straw's really good now. I mean, it's probably better if I show you in this tab here. So let me just quickly go to straw. You can see how it's jumped up from around here to like 198. You can get it around 200, to think of it like that. So straw's really good money because obviously prices of straw are normally quite high for farmers, so I just wanted to show that in the game and give you some reward for doing, you know, the arable work on top. But the same for hay. It should be more money because it takes more time now if you're using the realistic weather mod. You got to dry it, you got to ted it, you got to make sure you do it the right time of year. You can't just make 4 cuts of it. You're pretty much tied to making maybe 1 or 2 depending on the weather you're getting and also the map and the environment and everything like that. So if you're in like a really hot place in the US, you're probably going to get more chance to make hay. So I thought for the spot we're in the UK, and I've actually extended the duration of rain and the amount that it happens, so you should see more rain in for longer, so it's going to be even harder to make hay. But in the summer months, I've not changed it, so I've only changed it in the autumn and spring for rain, so you still got a good chance in summer to make hay, hence why I've put the price up. Whereas silage, it's gone down. You can see we've gone down from the 220s to the 129, so because it's easy to make. Basically, you can cut silage anytime, wrap it anytime. So as long as your grass is grown, you can make silage, but it's not the same for hay. So let's have a look at precision farming then. We've got 2 settings I just want to quickly talk about, give you an idea of what these now do. We've got realistic spread pattern and the speed dependent application. So I'm going to explain this now in what's going on here, because this looks like it's broken. We all originally thought this was a bug, but it's not. It's actually designed like that to be realistic, and it is realistic. When I was actually learning muck spreading, first ever time, my passes, like especially the first couple, were shocking. They were awful. I can't deny it. And the reason was, it's about finding the right balance. So if you're going too slow, but you like open up and like the walking floor on the Teagle that I used, if I did that at the same pelt, but slower, more's going to come out. The same applies with the way this is working now. So speed is a variable that will have an effect on the amount of lime that goes down. You've also got the width of it. So like a perfect way to show this off is this section here. You can see that you've got like your good, so where you want it to be, but then you've got a little bit less, and there's not as much going on the ground, and then a gap again. So the yellower parts are the end of the spread, so the right at the edge of it. So if you can think of it like you've got a 12 meter spread, that first initial middle of 6 meters, you're always getting a really nice consistent spread. But right on the edges where it is limit of where it can actually spread to, you might get a variation, and it might not be as much, it might be too much. I doubt it would ever be too much. It's always probably always going to be less, hence why it's yellow, and we're not putting enough lime down in them areas. The pH is still a bit acidic in them spots. That's what that's doing. So you can turn that off. You can just go to settings. And like I said, you've got 2 options now. So if you want realistic spread pattern, turn that off. And then you will, going forward, you won't see that. You won't see these lines. I'm going to keep it on. I like it. And yeah, it's something that I've just got to get used to. Same applies for solid fertilizer as well. Not sure on liquid fertilizer though. I think I'll have to check that because the sprayer bar is completely different than actually spreading out a solid. It should just be an even coat. So I don't think it would be for a liquid sprayer, which might give you an even more incentive to use a sprayer than actually a solid fertilizer spreader, because obviously you wouldn't have this issue. Now the other thing is to do with speed, and that's what I was telling you about, like when I was doing that muck spreading. I needed really to get it up to speed. So as I got more confident, I was waiting for it to get to speed. Then I'd open up the door had already been open, but then I kind of feather the spool which controls the walking floor, which is actually what's controlling the amount of muck that's coming out the back. So you can kind of feather it and hold it at a right spot as you're driving to get that nice consistent flow. So if you start going too fast, for example, which is very unlikely, you could slow it down. If you wanted to, say you were struggling because you were going uphill and you were slowing down, just close it off a little bit, don't put as much out, and that's what that does. So basically you can't control that because we haven't got the spool controls inside a tractor. You can't control the walking floor on the fly. You probably could if you didn't have it on automatic, and it would, if you turn the setting off, then you pretty much are controlling it and you're basically perfect at it. But what it's doing here is, this is a really good spot for it. That there is quite an uphill path. That section there, as I did this section, turned to go uphill. It was quite uphill, and I had a full load, in the spreader. It was quite heavy, so I slowed down, and you can see that I put too much lime on because I was going quite slow. The application rate was the same, and I've now got too much alkaline. We're in the 7.5s. We've gone over. So I like it for that reason. It's realistic. If you want, again, turn that off. you know, you got the two options. You can turn off the variable speed, which would stop this section here. Also stop the few sections where I've probably turned around or gone over myself or something along them lines. But I actually like it. So you can see down here, I've had a rate mare. I don't know what's been... That was AI Worker, that one, 29. But this one and this one was me. So, yeah. But I didn't know anything about this at the time. I didn't know that's what it was until we got the update, the 1.9 update, and we actually saw that there's these things now we can turn on and off. So yeah, spreaders apply more fertilizer or lime on the ground if you drive too slow. And then this one is spreaders do apply a different amount of fertilizer or lime on the outside compared to the inside. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. That is what that is. I'm going to keep it on currently, even though it's not very good to look at. It's pretty ugly. I'm trying to play as realistic as possible. If it becomes a pain and not very good and I can't improve on it or something, then I'll probably go back to how it was before, because I enjoyed precision farming the way it was originally. Does this improve it? It improves it and makes it more realistic. It depends how realistic you want to play. If you're playing more realistic to hinder yourself and give you maybe a worse score, then does that tick the box? Is that the way you want to do it, or do you want to stay the same? I actually quite like it. I don't mind taking a hit here and there for something that's probably a bit more realistic. But there we go. That's what that does. So I'm going to go back, part this up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to fertilize, spread it, get into the next in-game day at the very least. I am going to fix that silo, though. I'm going to make that so it's actually only a small amount, not double the amount more. And yeah, at some point we are going to move away from the Teagle, doing lime spreading. We've got a lot of lime spreading to do. April, we're going to be planting in probably oats. We've got the barley that's doing well. If I just go and quickly show you the barley, I've upped the density of the crop so it looks really lush again. But yeah, pH on this is not very good. Oh, sorry, that's nitrogen. pH is fine, but the nitrogen's not very good. Moisture's quite high. This one's maximum, like 99% moisture. So, not sure if that's because I did slurry spreading in here, which is something I did in between episodes. Like, so from this episode to the last, I actually spread out some slurry in this field, that field, this big field, basically, this whole section. You can see it. And then I also did around the edge of the field, which you can tell, and then ran out here. Now, I don't know if that's because I'm putting a liquid down, i.e. slurry, that the moisture's gone up. I'm not sure. But it's definitely way too much as it is. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know it's been a long one. Apologies for that, but thank you at the same time if you've stuck with it. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next one. See you, everybody.